Hi, I'm Familienapples, and I'm here at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to give a talk about studying the Scriptures. A few weeks ago, I was asked to give a talk at my church about studying the Scriptures. I figured that most people would focus on the blessings of reading the Scriptures, but I decided that I wanted to focus more on the studying aspect of the prompt. The leaders liked it so much, they asked me to re-give it at the seminary graduation. In other words, I got into the state championship of testimonies, and now I'm here, giving it to the world. We can't practice what we don't know, and we are responsible for what we learn. So the only way to get better is to study. That being said, I have been a victim of not studying for my class on ethics this past year. My mom walked into my bedroom as she asked me about my day. Now, I gave the usual answer, but there was something else on my mind. I was not doing well on the reading checks in my ethics class. And it's not like I didn't do the reading, I just wasn't retaining what I had read, and my grades were spiraling. I had an F in that class. Just so you know, there have been very few times in my life where I've had such a low grade, so I had little experience to go off of to know how my mother would react to this information. I felt like even though I liked the subject of ethics, I was just not cut out for it. Now, when my mom heard this, she didn't yell, she didn't blame me, and I didn't even get in trouble. She told me to email my professor to see what he recommended that I do. The answer I received from my professor was accurate, concise, and not what I wanted to hear. He basically told me that I was all right, and that not to worry so much, and if you're so worried, why don't you study? And so I did. As I read the assigned reading, I would write down what I thought was important before each quiz. I was always worried that what I thought was important was not what my professor thought was important, but it actually worked. Even though there were some times that I wasn't really on the same wavelength as the professor, I didn't mess up any of the reading checks after that. Doing this helped me retain information that I didn't even write down. By the end of the school year, I was able to get myself up to a passing grade in that class. The screen showed that I had gotten myself all the way up to a C. I was proud of myself, though a little annoyed that I didn't do better, knowing how simple that higher grade would have been if I had just started sooner. Yet, I had worked myself out of a failing grade into a passing one. It became clear to me that I wasn't bad at the subject. I was just trying to do what I always did for a class that I wasn't used to, that had reading checks of which I had only had one before. But my professor had a plan for me from the start. Remember the email that I received earlier? How he told me not to worry. Well, he was right. If you looked at my final grade for the class right now, the screen would show that I had an A in that class. Now, my professor from the very first class of the year told us that his grading style was not reflective of the grading program that the school used. My professor knew that I tried my best and that my current self was not the same as what my grades suggested. So, he made up for my pitfalls. I believe studying is important so that we can be ready for what the world may bring us. I know it has helped me a lot in my life. If we are willing to learn from trusted sources, there are infinite possibilities for us to succeed. Just know that even when you think you're barely getting through life, like I did in my ethics class, know that Heavenly Father works in the same way, and that through studying the scriptures, we will be ready for what our heavenly parents have planned for us. So, give yourself some credit and the free will to be you by studying how to be your best self. After all, you're the only person who ever can be you.